Yeah, it is definitely a like-for-like replacement, isn't it? There, so fair shout by Saints getting that sorted. Kind of in the EFC rumour mill. I'm not surprised he hasn't commented on this one. But Leeds have confirmed that Conrad Hurrell and King Vuniyayawa will leave the club at the end of the season after turning down new contract offers. Centre Hurrell, who's 30, and prop Vuniyayawa, who's 26, have both been linked with move to St Helens and Salford, respectively. Tonga international Hurrell has scored 23 tries in 52 appearances since joining Leeds in 2019, whilst Fiji international Vuniyayawa has played 16 games since arriving ahead of this season. One of the Saints fans who was pretty drunk, but properly joyful guy, sat behind me. He wasn't that upset when they lost. He was really upset though when he got told Hurrell might be signing.
Yeah,
he was so angry.
At Saints, I just can't see how he's good enough for Saints.
Obviously, he knows the coach well there, so that's one of the reasons why that rumour persists. In terms of Leeds letting him go, it's a big salary cap ease, I would guess, or a big spend anyway. And I think with Hurrell, but even more of a to an extent with Vuniyayawa, I think you can't keep sort of middling players who might, you can't keep a good player who might stop the progress of a good young player. For me,
yeah,
and I think that's what they've seen this year. They've seen the development of people like Holroyd, of Gannon, players like that, and you can't stunt their progress and development. Because next year they might all have their agents coming to Leeds saying we want an up in our deal because you've played him 15 times and they've performed well, and you can't do that if you're paying some middling Aussie forward or Fijian forward that money. So I think it makes sense from that point of view, from Leeds' perspective.
Yeah, I don't think that Leeds will miss them massively. No.
Vuniyayawa was all right on Saturday night, I think, but yeah.
Yep. Shall I move on to who?
Yes.
So Leeds have decided to extend the contract of Reece Martin. He's signed a new 1-year deal to remain with them for the 2022 season. 28-year-old joined midway through the 2019 season from NRL side Canterbury Bulldogs and has gone on to make 45 appearances for the club.
Bet they were rethinking it when he missed that conversion.
Yeah.
And the drop goal. Huddersfield Giants back rower Luke Yates has signed a new 3-year deal to remain with the Super League club until 2024. The 26-year-old joined from the Giants for an undisclosed fee ahead of the 2021 season from Salford Red Devils, linking up with head coach Ian Watson. There was talk that people in Australia were looking at him. Obviously, that was just agent talk to get him a better deal at Huddersfield, but there aren't too many players who work harder in Super League than Luke Yates, so he deserves what he gets paid.
Yep. And Huddersfield's club captain Michael Lawrence has signed a new 2-year contract with his hometown club. The 31-year-old forward has made over 300 appearances since making his debut for the Giants in 2007.
Well, talking of Giants stalwarts, Huddersfield centre Leroy Cudjoe has signed a new 1-year deal, extending his stay with the club into an 18th year. Wow. The 33-year-old has spent his entire career with the Giants and made his 300th appearance earlier this campaign. That's 2 guys with over 300 games for the club. They're real club men, aren't they?
Yeah. Warrington Wolves have signed Hull Kingston Rovers centre Greg Minikin for the 2022 season. The 26-year-old will reunite next season with wire-bound Darryl Powell, who replaces Steve Price in the role, and coach Minikin at Castleford. Knaresborough-born Minikin has 77 career tries, having played in Super League with Rovers and the Tigers, as well as spells at York and Batley. An EFC 78JU said Warrington are close to signing Greg Minikin, who will be reunited with Daryl Powell. He is due to be out of contract at the end of the season. After his playing career at Craven Park comes to an end, he will move on to the HJ Stadium to have a tough challenge and face his old rivals of Hull FC and his club of Hull KR, but he will have new rivals and a new club when the move is officially confirmed and announced.
Obviously, AFC got that in before it was officially confirmed and announced. It seems he must be getting paid quite a bit less than what they might have had to pay. What's his Jake Mamo to keep him, because that's the thing that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Otherwise, why wouldn't you have tried to keep Mamo and instead of signing Minikin anyway? Someone staying with Hull KR, though, is Ben Crooks. He's confirmed he's signed a new one-year extension for the 2022 season. Crooks has scored 10 tries this season, including the fastest ever Super League try. And Tom Andrews got in touch. He said, with losing Minikin, it would be hard to lose Crooks too. Happy to keep him around as long as it's not at fullback. He's fallen out with Ben Crooks. He's not his number one dream boy anymore, it turns out.
No.
Yeah, I think that's either Takarangi or SKD. I'm not sure, but yeah, still happy to keep him around for another year.
Yeah, well, you got to have a backup, haven't you?
Well, Paige does. We met him on Saturday.
Salford have signed 3 young Welsh players to play for their reserves and academy squads in the 2022 season. Ewan Roberts, Jake Lee and Joe Coop Franklin, who will join the club in 2022, visited the AJ Bell Stadium last week to introduce themselves to Red Devils staff. All 3 players have been studying and playing rugby league at the Wales Rugby League National Development Academy at Curligy Simod in South Wales, which has an ongoing relationship with the Red Devils. Coop Franklin, who's 19, is a rugby union convert, whilst Roberts, who turns 20 this month, came through the Aber Valley Wolves Club in Caerphilly and has won caps for Wales under-19s and Wales students. Lee, who turned 19 last month, also came through the Aber Valley junior teams whilst also playing once for Cardiff Blue Dragons. He has won caps for Wales at under-16s, under-19s and Wales student levels. So all decent pedigree there.
It's good to see the relationship paying off, isn't it? And Salford showing that whilst they don't have a elite academy of their own, they've got some ways into bringing young players in and through. So and it's looking at that wider talent pool that we talked about with places like London and Newcastle, and obviously South Wales is still producing for us as well.
Yeah.
And finally, a catch up on last week's and finally actually that the National Conference League has imposed a sin die, which means life, does it?
Sin die.
Whatever. I don't know why we have to throw Latin in every now and again, but that's what it said in where I copied and pasted it from. A life suspension on Milford's Josh Nathaniel. Conference bosses have named Nathaniel as the player who allegedly assaulted referee Joe Stern during the League D fixture with Alton Raiders on Thursday the 26th of August. The game was abandoned shortly after half-time, with Raiders 8-0 ahead, and the police were called. NCL Administrator Alan Smith said, the player does have the right of appeal now and can ask for a review of the ban after 5 years, which is the maximum length that can be imposed under the community game operational rules. And NCL Chair Trevor Hunt added, the National Conference League has always recognised the importance of supporting all match officials in undertaking their key role within the sport. This means we hold a strong line against any abuse of match officials, whether verbal or, in rare cases such as this, physical. We will never accept or tolerate such actions, and we know these feelings are shared by all at the Milford Club, who have been outstanding members of the NCL over many years. We also know and accept that the player involved is deeply upset following the incident, and we are determined to work with Milford to support him through these difficult times. We are grateful to the RFL for the support that they, through their experienced officers and RL Cares, will now provide, not only to the referee, but to Josh, as we seek to eradicate such instances from our competition. A really, really good statement, I think, that, from Trevor Hunt.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think they had to do that. I think it was the right thing to do.
Yeah, there was no other option other than the most severe punishment for this type of behaviour. It's completely unacceptable, unwanted, and it's been dealt with well.
Yeah.
Thanks for everyone who got their views in on this week's news, particularly the London story. People were quick to react to that today, which is great stuff. Good to get a range of views there. Shout out, of course, to BBC Sport Rugby League page, totalrl.com and loverugbyleague.com. They provide the news stories for us to share with you and comment on. So keep up the good work, guys, and go out there and give them your clicks so that they do keep up that good work. That is news covered for this week. We're now going to move on to the Magic Weekend match reviews.
Okay, so game one of the weekend, of which it was obviously round 23, the Magic Weekend. Game one on Saturday was Castleford 29, Salford 18, and at half-time it was Castleford 16, Salford 12. This one was refereed by Chris Kendall. There are incomplete team stats.
Yeah, Atta Hingano was missing, I think. Try scorer as well.
But in terms of individuals, for Castleford, Nathan Massey with 166 metres, Daryl Alfert with 7 tackle busts and 141 metres, Adam Milner with 1 try, 123 metres, and James Clare with 105 metres. For the losing Salford team, Chris Atkin with 1 try assist and 46 tackles, and Dan Sargentson with 100 metres. We had a few fan views.
Yep. We'll start with Pop the Viking. Paul said, a great first half from both teams with Cass just edging it. After Cass increased their lead, Salford came back through some repeat sets. Cass killed off any hope of a Salford comeback with less than 10 minutes to go. A great start to Magic Weekend.
Yeah, EFC 78JU said, this was some first game to watch on a return to Newcastle of the Magic Weekend, but still Cass had the better out of Salford throughout the full 80 minutes. There were quite a few tries and conversions they kicked to stay in the fixture. It was great to see Oliver Holmes score a try and Peter Matautia kick some of his extra points off a conversion. I'm sure Fat Boy Rob enjoyed his day out.
that he did. He tried to convince us that basically, one, the 2017 Cass team was the greatest team that ever played rugby league, and two, this Cass team really should be treble winners because they were robbed of the Challenge Cup final by the Ratch officials. He tried to come up with some reason why some sort of COVID stuff that wasn't their fault is why they didn't win the League Leaders' Shield, and obviously then would have gone on to win the grand final. So we'll see. But he certainly enjoyed it, EFC. Craig, the Repat expat Cass fan, said, don't know if we wanted it more, but definitely needed it more. Great to get back on the horse after the Wigan debacle. Salford just wouldn't go away, but we had the extra touch of class to get the job done. KR next week is our second cup final this year. Operation Piss the League on a knife edge. That's only used to take the piss out of him, not to join in.
Not to agree with him. Joshua's granddad said, a nice starter dish for the weekend, no controversy, and Cass always comfortable.
Fat Boy Rob said, considering the team this was probably our best win of the season. No halfbacks, forwards in the centres, no Watts or Milo, or half of no Macca. We won't win any awards for our defence, but we found a way to win, and Operation Piss the League goes into the last 2 weeks of the season. Good turnout from the Cass fans and a great day. #Coif, #PagesX. We did get a late one in on this one as well, Sarah. That's not on your rundown. DG Knight. To be fair, whilst Carson lives in the future, we know that DG Knight lives like in the beyond that, so it takes him a while. He said, Cass ground out a much needed win. Improvised halfback pairing did well, but losing Macca again and scrapping nervous play a little worrying. Hopefully we can start playing with some confidence again if we make the 6, but for now a win is a win. What did you make of the opener then?
I thought it was a really enjoyable game. I thought, for a long time you felt that yes, Salford were just that one score off the pace, and then obviously back end, Cass did run away with it a little bit, but yeah, I really enjoyed it as a match.
Yeah, it was a fun watch. It didn't feel like there was truly any jeopardy of Castleford not winning the game, because every time they got within